This hangout is on air. Welcome, everyone. This is Isabel Acosta with Life Shots Partners in Success. Thank you for joining us. And I apologize, my camera is really fuzzy and it seems to be a little slow. Can you hear me okay,
Yes.
Valerie? I don't know why it seems to be a little slow, but as long as you can hear me, we're going to get this launched. So this is November 2014, and this is our monthly webinar, and I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited that you guys are here with us. Let me lower my phone. I just thought of that because somebody was just calling me. So today we are having a conversation on just really about everything, but I really didn't want to take the time really to really train on anything, any kind of skill, but we need to start with our mindset and getting to the right place in order for us to be taking action. And I was having a conversation with Valerie the other day about a book that she's reading, and I really have been thinking about, actually I stole the idea from Kimmy, because Kimmy does a book of the month for her team. And I thought that's something that we need to do as a team. I myself don't do the reading that I need to be reading. So I think that if we commit to doing a book of the month, I can do better at reading. And the reason we need to read is because we need to become that person that that person that earns that money. In my example, I want to get to the point to start in my 4-year career plans to get to $20,000 a month. It's not going to happen until I become that person, until I become that person emotionally and mentally. And the only way it's going to happen is for me to read books, learn from the people that have done it and have put it in books, and learn from the people that have been there. Have gone through the failures and have gone through the no's and have gone through the disappointments and have learned to discipline their disappointments and keeping their eye on their goal in order for them to keep moving forward, because this is the business that there's no doubt. There is just no doubt in my mind, and I hope you feel the same way, that if you stay on track, if you do the work, you're going to achieve. And the reason there's no doubt in my mind is because of all the people that have done it. It's not just a few people that have done it. It's many people in many companies, in different type of company, different kind of product, and different kind of system. But it all comes down to the same thing. Everybody has in common is network marketing. So it's going to happen for us. It's definitely going to happen for us. There's no doubt in my mind. But we have to be mentally prepared, because Valerie and I were talking the other day, and you do feel like you get beat up when you hear that no after no and after no after no. So what is it going to take for you to keep on moving forward is being mentally prepared. But it has to start from the very beginning, because from the very beginning, from the day that we open our business, the day that we say yes to the opportunity and we get our launch kit, or even if we come in with a $49 kit, we are open for business, and that's where the roadblocks get started from day one, because the fear of picking up the phone, the fear of talking to that person, whether it's because we're afraid of what they're going to think when we talk to a family member or to a friend. So this is where the conversation is going to start. We're going to start with the conversation of getting over the fear. What causes the fear? And getting over the fear in order for us to, for the very first time, pick up the phone and make the first invitation to that family member or that friend or the person we just met not too long ago, and we got their contact information, making the invitation for them just to take a look. So welcome, Valerie. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
So tell me a little bit about, in this conversation, I'm going to let Valerie take the lead, because she started reading a book and she started telling me about what she's learned, and I thought, okay, you need to do our monthly training and you need to talk about that because that's powerful. So take it away, Valerie. Where do you want to go from here? Maybe what led you, start with what led you to, okay, I need to pick up this book and read it because I need this in my life right now.
Okay. Well, I think anytime you start something new, you kind of have that buyer's remorse. Like, oh my, what have I just done? Did I take enough time to think about this? Am I making a jump decision? Should I take more time? And your mind starts to go into overdrive. And for me, I really had to kind of take a step back. And that's what I have this one, which is Richard Brooks' book, Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. And another one, of course it's in my car. Sorry, I've been reading it. But the first thing is to find out what you really want. Even before you find out how to get it, you got to start from the very, very, very beginning. And even from there, you have to go back even further to figure out what failures you've had and what has caused you to think you're going to have future failures. So I had to write it down. And one of the things I found out was, for me, having baggage. Going, well, that didn't work in the past, so this isn't going to work in the future. And replaying that over and over in your mind, and it causes you to make a decision of hesitancy, and this isn't going to work, and you're not even giving something a chance because you're letting past failures rule your future. And the reality is, unless you have a time machine, you can't go back and fix that stuff. You just have to come to terms with it, let it go, and move on, and be willing to make some changes, and go for it. So for me, joining Life Shotz, I had to kind of look back to see one of my, I thought, failures would be my Avon business, because it's just such struggle. And I had to kind of step back and look back, what did I think the struggle was? And one of the parts, besides, sometimes there's things that are beyond your control, but for me, I thought, nobody on my team is going to do this like me. Nobody's going to duplicate like me. Nobody can duplicate like me because I'm a one-of-a-kind person. We all are. So I looked at that and I thought, I'm not empowering anybody to be successful because they have to look to me. And that'll never duplicate down. I have to let people be their own person. I have to let them be an adult. I can't be their mother, even though sometimes we talk about family and team members, and you kind of get that, that role. And I had to kind of identify that, and that kind of gives myself the power to know that's probably one of the reasons why I tried to do everything. And this business is not about one person doing everything. So if I'm going to take my Life Shotz business and try to do everything, it's going to fail. So knowing that, it's kind of relief that you can move forward. And another thing that they kind of shared was vision. It's the same thing. If you're replaying those past failures, like, I'm never going to lose weight. I'm never going to be healthy. I'm never going to have the house that I want, the money that I want to make, the vacations. If you keep saying that, that's your subconscious, and you're going to act upon that. Or, in my case, maybe not act. Say, you're too scared to share, too scared to think what they think, too scared if they'll say no. Does it really matter? I mean, what matters more? Your goals, your dreams? Or if one person on the blip of your life says no? So I think one of the biggest challenges is facing fears and doing it anyway. For me, one of my weight loss goals, I haven't really been since high school. But based on my height, I mean, it's a weight goal I need to have. I can't keep ignoring things. I need to, put something in my schedule daily. Because if I don't, it's never going to happen. And I can't fear that because I've never done it, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So I've been reading the book, as well as I got my car, which the kids hate because it's just talking, it's not music, but I don't care. It's my car. Just kind of hearing it over and over again and reading the book over and over again. Just because you hear it once, it doesn't mean it's going to stick. Like a movie. You may have a favorite movie if you've watched it just once or twice, but more than likely, if you love it, you're going to read it and watch it over and over again. So I started with two things I thought, I know could do is for my dream board. See that? That's my financial goals. And my big goal is we need at least 25,000 extra a year. It was challenging when my husband got a new fancy job out of state, but we couldn't sell our house when we were here. So 6 months later, he had to take a job that was less. And cutting coupons and not buying things and, you know, trying to be frugal with your money only goes so far. You're not going to make up $25,000. So I put on there, you know, that is my goal, and I want that because I want this less stress for him. I want us to be able to take the vacations that we want. I want us to be able to update and fix our house so that eventually we can build a new house. I want those things. Why should I not have them? Other people do. And being okay to say, you know what, I do deserve better, and not being content with where you're currently at. And then the second one I did was my weight loss goals. So I put this body that I found on Google.
I love it.
And I stuck my head on it. But again, it's the images. So Mach 2 shares that, you know, put that in front of you. And before you go to bed and when you wake up, those are the things you need to see. I even made smaller versions for my purse. So if you're in the car and you're waiting for the kids to get out of school, or, you know, you got some time, you know, you can, or maybe having a bad day, pull that out. Because the more that that's in front of you, it kind of gives you those stepping stones to make it more of a reality versus just an image or a vision. So I figured, for me, I've done this before, but I've gotten away from it because I really felt that my path, it wasn't getting me there, and it was frustrating to me. So I kind of gave up on it till you came along, Isabel, and all that kind of, you know, brought back some of the things that I had kind of put on the back burner, feeling like I'd never accomplished them, and it's just the same old, and I just got tired of the hamster wheel. So I figured, if this is what successful people do, and it seems to be a very common thing. You're on Facebook, there's all these great, especially in our industry, videos and clips, YouTube stuff. A lot of this is the same, like you were saying. This isn't like brand new rocket science. This is something that just came out yesterday. It's something that successful people tend to do over and over again. So where am I to argue? If this is what a lot of people are doing and they're getting success, and the steps are here, you know, these are easily things that people can do. It's not crazy. Just, it's simple things. But I think the number one thing is consistency. It's not just here and there once in a while, or if you feel like it. You know, every day look at those goals. You know, read a book. Even if it's just a couple chapters. You know, by the end of the week, would you have a book read, or half a book? You know, how many books would you read in a month? Another favorite of mine is The Slight Edge. And that's very similar. You know, it talks about small actions you do daily. And like Life Shotz, 1 a day, 2 a day. Nowhere does it say you need to talk to 100 people every single day. It's 1 or 2 a day. But that 1 or 2 a day, over a week, over a month, over a year, over 4 years, how many would that be? And there was something a while back, I forget if it was a video or something, but it was talking about this 6-minute abs. And you just 6 minutes a day, you did these special ab exercises, and they showed these amazing results. And so many people were skeptical because they thought, 6 minutes, that's not enough for a workout. But what they didn't understand was it was 6 minutes daily. How many, you know, crunches and stuff would you do for a week, for a month, for 6 months, for a year? So that's kind of what I wanted to share today is, you know, getting over the fear and taking those actions anyway, because your goals and dreams are, that's what you want. It's not what other people think. It might be close friends and family, could be colleagues, could be other people that you know that may not agree with you. But at the end of the day, what's more important? What you want or what other people think? So, and that's something each individual person has to decide for themselves. But for me, I decided it doesn't really matter what they think about my goals and dreams. It matters what I think and what I want for my family.
Thank you, Valerie. I'm going to have to say, and I hope you don't mind because I'm going to call you out.
Oh,
In the beginning, you were when your business started, and we started, doing our strategy session, and probably even a month after you started your business, I would ask you, "What's your goal?" And I knew you had mentioned to me in the beginning that you wanted to retire your husband, but when you actually launched your business with your launch kit, and it was time to, okay, we're going to do this. What's your goal? You were afraid you were afraid to tell me this is what I want out of this business, and you would tell me,
I was because I didn't think
you would
about
tell
it.
me,
I
I
thought,
don't
well, why am I
understand.
getting this goal?
It was something new to you.
Yes.
Because even though Avon, it's in the same field, direct sales, but it's network marketing. It's such a big different mind shift. It's similar, but it's not. So you were afraid to speak your dream. You were afraid to put your heart into your dream because you didn't know what was possible. You heard, but you were afraid. That was the word again. You were afraid to say, okay, I can do it here because you didn't believe what was possible.
And that's what Richard talks about in this, because that was a past failure in my mind. And something else that kind of came about as I started to let go of that fear and start to do three-way calls and reach out to maybe some people from my Avon business before, I thought that they were upset with me, or that I was a bad leader, or that I didn't help them or partner with them enough. And unfortunately, I think that's sometimes what Avon puts out there, is you're not doing enough. I was not enough. And then when they would come and talk to you, they said great things about me. So in my mind, which wasn't factual, but in my mind, I thought I was a bad leader, and that I couldn't get anybody to do this with me to the level that I wanted because of the past failure, and thinking people thought that I wasn't a good leader, of which neither is even true or even close to true. And Mach 2 talks about that too, is creating your own false reality. I think we think what other people think. We don't know it as a fact. We just assume everyone's going to say no. We just assume everyone is going to laugh or make fun or say, oh my, here she goes again. And those are the things that hold us back. In reality, I have not had one person laugh, make fun, or any of that. Which with Avon they kind of did. But with this, I've had people say, thanks, but congratulations, good for you, wish you the best. So for me, that's been another fear that's been conquered, because you don't know what people think about this. And it's not as negative as we make out in our heads. So there's really no reason not to reach out to people, because they're going to make their own decision anyway. But the more that you do, the easier it is, the more success that you will have. And some of those no's may flip around to be a yes. It may not be the moment you ask them or you reach out and share, but it could be 6 months, it could be next year. You don't know. But you don't let that hold you back from still continuing to ask and go forward. So for me, the biggest mind shift is this, even though it's similar, it is not the same as my Avon business. So but that's what I wanted. I did not want the same thing. I wanted something different. So with that comes change and comfort zone and having to do things differently. But what I was doing wasn't working. So why would I want the same thing? Isn't that Einstein's definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? So one of the challenges that I had was letting go of the fear and trusting that this came into my life for a reason, not an accident, not, hey, let's try this today, something else tomorrow. That it was the change that I've been looking for. Sometimes you don't know if that's going to happen, but when it does, I think it's time to embrace it and make it everything it's meant to be. Like Richard says, not batted around like a cat toy.
Right, right. Well, I have to. I'm so proud of you, Valerie. I'm just so proud of you. I cannot say it enough. Because, guys, and let me say that we talk about Avon. She talks about Avon, but because that was her, that was holding her back. So I want you to think about what's holding you back. Is it a previous company? Is it something that you heard something over and over and over and over before? Something like maybe network marketing is a pyramid scheme. Is that what was holding you back? So figure out what your fear is, and because all of us have fears. I have fears. I definitely have fears, and I have had success in this business already. Not the success I want, but I'm moving forward and I'm on track. But I still hesitate before I pick up the phone. I still hesitate before there's certain people that I haven't reached out to yet that I need to, but making excuses as to why I'm not haven't reached out to them. So all of us have fears. So figure out what's holding you back and what's your fear, and embrace that. Embrace it and know that it's okay. But now let's change that around. Change that around. Now, I want to read a quote to you by my notes. I started reading the book that Valerie has out, Mach 2, and I haven't finished it, so I'm definitely going to finish it. Look at my hair. Like, he's bothering me. I can see it on the screen. Okay, so what I've been doing is, as I'm reading, I highlight something that I like, and then I write it down on my little, then I write down the note. So this is the second thing that I wrote down. Desire has absolutely nothing to do with motivation. Desire only creates the yearning for something, but not any of the actual magical energy it takes to stay on the path towards achieving it. So, we introduced this business to you, and it's something like, that sounds like a good idea. That sounds like that sounds like I want to do that. And now you're here, or we're all here, and now we actually, just because it sounded like a good idea, just because you're like, yeah, it sounds like I can meet my goals with that plan, that's not enough. That's not enough for us to not actually pick up the phone. And not only pick up the phone once, but pick up the phone again, and then pick up the phone again, and pick up the phone again after we have heard 3, 5, 10 no's. And then keep on recruiting after you have recruited 10 people, and out of those 10 people, you only have 6 active, and out of those 6 active, you only have 2 people that are actually building the business. You see where I'm going with this? You have to still keep on going. You still have to keep on going, because, I can look at it as, well, you know what? I talked to, I don't even know how many people I've talked to. I talked to some amount of people, and I have these people, and then I only have these 2 people that are actually doing something. Or I can look at it like, wow, I already have 2 people that are building with me. Let me keep on going, because let's say that I talk to 60 people or even 100 people. That's a little too much. Let's say that I talk to 60 people. Now those 60 people, I have 2 people that are actually building with me. Well, I know that 4 is a magic number. I'm looking for 4 leaders. And I already have 2. Yeah, I can talk to another 60 people or even another 100 people. But what's going to help me take that action? To keep on going, to have that positive attitude instead of that negative attitude that, like Valerie was talking about, because, oh no, this isn't going to work, or no, I'm not a good enough leader, or no, taking everything personal just because the person I talked to wasn't for them.
It can be intimidating. I think that's another thing that I find, especially when you're talking with people that are very successful. The gap is so huge that it's like, and our leader, Lisa, I've never met her, but she's very polished. She's a great speaker. She's written books. She's one of the top people in the company. And I just signed up for a launch kit. The gap is so big, and sometimes it's very hard for people to identify, and they turn themselves down because they're not like that. And part of it that you have to understand is that took time. And the 1 step, the 2 step, eventually, people get to be a great public speaker, and people get to, do all those things. But I think you shouldn't let that fear stop you from taking that next step and the step after that, and keep moving forward. even if you are nowhere close to someone else's level or position or money, any of those things, it's the fact that you are taking those steps, and before you know it, you will be there. It never happens fast enough for any of us. Sometimes that's a fear. Like, this isn't going to work because I'm not making 6 figures and I just signed up yesterday. I think a lot of people do quit because they run into the challenges, and it frustrates me because I know things never happen fast enough. They just don't, even with my weight loss goals. But I had to step back and say, okay, what am I going to do a little bit different? And what's been working, and plan, do, review, adjust. I mean, it's not going to be a perfect road from here to your goal, but I think keeping those visions in front of you, listening to positive people, listening to audios, reading books. Our calls, they have Aces in Action for us every day. There's training calls on Tuesday, just tapping in, which is part of doing the business. It's not all 10 hours a week making phone calls. Part of that is working on yourself, whether that's a book or a CD or a webinar or the training that's already on our website. And I think the more you can see, the more you can do, the more you're capable of, and it's like anything, it's growth. So my next advice, I guess, is don't get intimidated, especially when you get really deep, like those people that went to the mastermind. I mean, $100,000 a month, and it's so hard to imagine. But that doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means, taking some of their tips and advice and working that in. So eventually you do start to see those nuggets of success, and then you want to continue to grow.
That's awesome. I love all of your analogies. You're so good at that. But starting with the first step. That's the scariest part. Starting with the first step, and then that's going to lead to the next step, and then lead to the next step. I love that. That's so true. And knowing that, in order to, it is going to be easy to get started, take that first step and then the next step, and it is going to be easy to not get knocked out of course or to knock yourself out of the game. And the way you're going to do that is by knowing the expectations that it's okay, that it's okay, that it's not going to be a straight road to success, and it's not going to be an overnight build. But just numbers are in our favor. And eventually you're going to start having that exponential growth that it is going to take place. And I'm excited for us. I'm excited to see where we are in 4 years.
Well, you get better. I mean, like with anything. I mean, I like to use the analogy, a lot of us are moms, but how many of our children aren't potty trained? Mm. Do you give up on that? Do you say, well, this is too hard, sorry, good luck? No, you keep at it, And if you're like me, almost a year with my youngest, we kept at it. You keep at it, and eventually it's in the past, and you worry about it, and you move on to the next thing. So what challenges you have today may not even be on your radar in 3 months or 6 months or a year. What you thought was a big deal and the biggest challenge is nothing. And I think that's one of the biggest struggles in this industry. Even with Avon, I noticed it too, is people they get so involved, all the little things going on in their life, they miss that big why. Why do you want more? I mean, are you really happy with the hamster wheel? Are you really happy with not knowing how to pay this bill or that bill, or never getting to take a family vacation, or knowing that your children will be off to college soon, or getting a big wedding to pay for, any of these types of things. Then you have something that happens and you have this big, huge bill, or, having financial freedom offers so many more opportunities. And this book shares, why think small? What good does it do if you just live a mediocre life for everybody around you? If you did more, if you thought more, if you were more, how many other people around you would inspire them to be more? What could you do to help your community? What could you help for your family? What could you help for people that you don't even... So, and for Isabel and I, we still have never yet met in person. But that doesn't mean that, you know, people can't be powerful, people can't be inspirational. I mean, especially with the magic of technology. I mean, you can share with anybody anywhere in the world with a matter of, you know, a couple strokes of the keyboard. So I think we're in a really good time here. And I think, you know, people need to let go of past failures or what they think they can and can't do, and really take this all the way to the top. What do you think, Isabel?
I think I'm listening. I want to listen to you more. I love the way you talk because you're awesome. And you know, I couldn't have said it myself. You know, I couldn't have said it myself. So guys, figure out what's holding you back. What's holding you back? You know, what's holding you back? Why are you making an excuse? The excuse of, well, I don't have time or whatever. It's just an excuse. There's something behind that. Yes. You know, figure out what's behind that. It's something emotional, guys. It's something psychological, but I can't tell you what it is. You're gonna have to figure out. It's something that maybe you heard growing up over and over and over and over. You know, a lot of us grow up with the job mentality. You know, get a good education so you can get a good job, and then you work for 2 weeks and get paid. You work for 2 weeks and get paid. So here, you work for 2 weeks and you haven't gotten paid, and nothing's happening. So, you know, how are you translating that? And I don't want to put anything in your head, but I want you to figure out what's holding you back. You know, why are you, if you're hearing the success stories, because you're plugging into Dreams Mario. I mean, you're plugging into bad habits from to the tribe. You know, you're plugging into all the trainings. You're hearing the success stories. Why are you not believing them? And if you are believing them, why are you not taking action? So go back and figure that out. And it's not something that you're just going to sit down and you're going to say, oh, I got it. I know why I haven't taken action. It's something that is going to be gradual. And the way you're going to get there is by plugging into the tribe, making sure that you're plugged in, but then reading motivational books, reading books like, and Mark on Fire is more than a motivational book. It's a what's what I'm looking for? An outline. It's a path for you to figure out how to get to that place of being motivated. You know, how do you get self-motivation? Just by saying, I really want to retire my husband, or I really want to earn $20,000 a month. It's not enough.
Isabel, if I could come in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is to be more than just, I want to retire my husband. Because you actually, what they share in the other book, Have Anything You Want by Margie, I'm not sure her last name, is an A. It takes feeling to that. Like having that extra money, how does that feel for me? For me, it feels like pride, because as a stay-at-home mom, it's challenging to bring in income when your job is to do free jobs. And PTO, all these things I volunteer, they don't make money. Even though they're important to me and I feel useful and helpful, it's not money-earning activities. I would feel the stress of my husband being lifted. I would feel, you know, the awesomeness of taking a nice family vacation, and how my kids, how they would feel, and the just looking at their faces, how much fun they would have at a nice vacation. You know, I got an opportunity, you know, when I was younger to take vacations where my husband, the first time he saw the ocean was on our honeymoon. So for him, we don't want that to happen to our sons. We want them to be able to experience great vacations as children, not just later in life. So that's where you kind of have to attach the emotions to your goal. It's more than a dollar amount. It's what that dollar amount will do and what doors it will open. And even do extra pictures and stuff. I have one for what I want my kitchen to look like. Now I need to go even bigger because I want to build my own house. But we got to do some stuff here first. But the last time I did this, I did it in a little book. half of the things in there came true. Now, they weren't the exact time frame, but everything I had put, and I visualized it, and I put words to it, and I looked at it often, it came. And I just was shocked because I had tucked it away in one of my drawers and I forgot about it. And I pulled it out and I just flipped through and I'm like, that happened, that happened, that happened. Even the one I wanted to take my husband on a cruise for our 10-year anniversary. Well, we went on our first cruise. It was actually 3 years after that. But it happened anyway. We wanted a house. We were tired of renting. It took us 5 years to be able to get out of renting and buy a house. But this January, we have been homeowners again for 5 years. So you really have to decide what you want because time is passing. You know, people are getting older every single day. Even though we might look good because we're taking our life shots. We are still.
Well said. Well said. Well, I really don't think there's anything more to add to this conversation. You did awesome. Thank you. But guys, we want to add. We would like to add you to the conversation. So we're going to start the Book of the Month Club. We're going to concentrate on reading one book a month, and you decide how much you want to put into that. But I suggest 30 minutes a day or minimum 10 pages a day. You just get your book. Find out what's the best time for you, early in the morning, late in the evening, and get your book. And I think we need to start with Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. It comes, which I need to get the DVD because I love the idea of plugging it in my car and as you're driving, listening to it. If the kids are in the car or not, I totally feel you, Valerie, because I do the same thing, and my kids are like, Mom, do we need to listen to that? But I don't have Mach 2 and yeah, exactly. They're usually listening to Richard Burke, or they know him well because I always have him on, or they're listening to Jim Rohn in the car. But I need to get Mach 2 on CD so I can listen to that. So, if you feel like, okay, I don't have time to read, then pick up the CD and listen to it. But I do suggest that if you're doing the CD, as you are listening to it, take notes so you can come back and have a conversation with us. So I think on our next webinar, which is going to be, what's today, Wednesday? So the first Wednesday of December, that's what we're going to do is everybody that read the book everybody's going to be on the camera, and everybody will have the opportunity to talk about one takeaway that they took away from the book and that inspired them, and then share with all of us. Because your takeaway might be something that might need, and the other way around. So that's going to be our goal for our next webinar. Pick up the book or pick up the CD and start reading it. And then I know we're already into December, but it's only, what's today, the 6th, the 7th? November.
Can you write it down?
Mm-hmm.
I think I have the PDF.
Oh, do you?
So if anybody wants it, I can send that to them. Or this was like $20 for both of them. So it's,
you picked them up at blissbusiness.com?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So go to Richard Brooks' website, blissbusiness.com, and pick them up, or just reach out to Valerie on Facebook, or reach out to her on our Facebook group, and then she'll send you the PDF. Thank you for doing that. That's awesome. So all right, I guess we'll end the conversation. Everybody have an awesome. Anything you want to add, Valerie?
No, I like this. I think it's a good idea to put books out there and stuff, because this is great information, and maybe somebody will pick up something different that I didn't, and I think sharing is a great thing. I think the book club is a great idea.
Yeah, awesome. I'm excited. So, guys, take some time today. Your homework. I'm going to give you homework. Your homework for this week. By Monday, take some time to think about. Okay, you know what you want to achieve. So put some feelings behind that. Just like Valerie talked about. Why do you want to reach that goal? And more importantly, how is it going to feel when you're actually there? And then make your dream board. I would love for you to come back and share with us, maybe on the next webinar, your dream board, or something that I do is I just on my journal. I wish I need to also do a dream board because I used to do that too and I got away from it. But what I do know in my journal is I write down what I want to achieve and why do I want to achieve it and how is that feeling going to make me happen. So if you see here, I have shown up. This is what when I went to Ignition, I earned the $700, and this is the clip, and this is how it was handed to me. The money was fixed, and I'm holding on to this because to remember the feeling that I felt when I earned that incentive, and how all the hard work was worth it. And I could have, and I walked away thinking I could have done better. I could have earned more because I know that I didn't put it 100%. So this is to remind me that you could do better. You could do better. You want that feeling that I had times 10 times more because I know that I could do better. So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you, Valerie, for sharing with us. I love to hear you talk. You're awesome. Everybody have a great week. Have a great month. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye, Valerie. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.